right. Good morning. This is Eric Gerritson from MGM Werx. Welcome to another edition of Werx on the Web. I have a great show for you today. I have some great guests that are going to be speaking at our PME Future Technology Showcase. These guys come out of Huntsville, Alabama. I am going to go ahead and bring them into the studio and give you an opportunity to meet them. All right, starting with Andy. Andy, would you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
I'm Andy Bevilacqua, and I'm the Chief Technical Advisor at Bevilacqua Research Corporation in Huntsville, Alabama.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, Dr. Bevilacqua. And Casey, introduce
yourself. Hi, I'm Casey Catron. I am the Director of Commercial Technology for Bevilacqua Research Corporation.
Outstanding. Thanks for being with me today. And for those of you guys who have children, Casey's going to be first-time dad coming up here in a very short period of time. We're excited for
Very
Casey.
short.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. Guys, I have a series of questions I want to ask you, and this has to do with our Future Technology Showcase for PME, Professional Military Education. The technology that you guys have is fantastic. I really liked hearing about it. I liked having the piece of technology, which I'm not going to get into. You guys can talk about. And as a former PME instructor, I find that this technology could be a game changer for students who come into the classroom and may be dealing with some cognitive issues. And when I say cognitive issues, fears and about being back in the classroom, fear about what the curriculum holds for them or whatever it may be. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And so let's get into this. Dr. Bevilacqua, what is cognitive load reduction?
Well, it's if you take the word cognitive out and just say mental load reduction, it's mental load. Just like a computer, the brain has processes going on at all times inside of it, and it gets filled up. And so anytime you can reduce the amount of processing that it's doing, the better off you are especially when it comes to learning and education.
All right. So basically it's just trying to say, hey, brain, relax a little bit. Let's take this load off you so you can receive more. Is that what we're talking about here?
That is correct. And there's a whole community called the cognitive load community that deals with these issues. And it's becoming a bigger and bigger thing each year as we understand more and more about how the brain works.
Wow. And so I'm assuming that probably very few people who are going to watch this video really know how the brain works like you do. And so could you explain the priorities of the brain? What does the brain prioritize as important and not so important?
Well, again, I'll go back to the example of a computer. As you know, when you hit Control-Alt-Delete on your computer, you go to your task manager, and it shows you all the processes that are running. So when your computer is running slow, the first thing you do is you go in there and you start taking out those processes that you don't need. The brain's the same way. There's a lot of processes running, and they generally run in three levels. First level being what they call autonomic processing, and that's just a fancy word for automatic. The things you need to live, your blood flow, your heartbeat, respiration, all of those things are going on in the background, just like there are background processes in a computer. And those things are necessary to keep you functioning. There's a second level that's a little higher than that. And that's an evolutionary thing. That's your survival processes. So your brain is constantly collecting photons from the environment through your senses, things through your ears, and it's evaluating those things to see if there are threats around you. And then the third level is the level where it's your choice. You can direct your attention to certain things and concentrate on those particular things. So those three levels of processes, if you were able to hit Control-Alt-Delete for your brain, you would see those processes all running in the brain.
Wow. Is there a fourth level, the level of spouse, what they tell you what to, I'm just thinking something.
Unfortunately for men, that one's usually turned off.
That's funny. Thank you. All right. So Casey, tell me this, why do you think that this kind of research and technology is a big deal for Air Force education?
Yeah. So I think it really goes back into what Dr. B was saying earlier. We refer to kind of load or mental load. It's the strain or the stress. I think about it like weightlifting. A lot of people can refer to that. So when you're lifting weights, if you have a spotter, they help take that strain and that stress off. And so while wearing our technology, what it does is actually takes that strain and that stress that your brain is going through, because it's learning new information. It's doing a process it's never done before. And it allows you to learn quicker and deeper, and allowing you to essentially retain that information a lot better, and also in a much quicker way, so that you can actually become an expert a lot sooner.
All right, so let's go to an example. You have a classroom, let's say in the professional military education world, let's say your classroom has 16 students in it. They're all sitting in a horseshoe. You've seen it in universities and so forth. But you have some students that come in and they haven't been in the classroom, and this is real world. They haven't been in the classroom in 5, 10, 15 years maybe of any significance. And now you're going to put them on the spot for 6 to 8 weeks or longer and ask them to do things they just haven't been working on for a long time. They come in with a stress level. I used to see it when I taught. You can see it on their face. They're like, holy smokes, what am I into? I fix aircraft. Why am I in this classroom? And what do you mean that I have to take tests? It's just been a long time. So with the technology we're talking about, are you saying that you're going to be able to help those students, potentially help those students? Dr. Bevilacqua, can you relieve some of that stress load off them so that they're more capable of receiving information and preparing for the academic environment?
Yeah, most definitely. You've heard of these chambers that people, I guess in the 70s, it was popular to get in a sensory deprivation chamber. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because you're totally relaxed when you remove all inputs from your senses. So what we're able to do is to take the middle process that I talked about a few minutes ago, the survival processes, and calm those. Turn some of those processes off in the brain, and that leaves more room for the other things that your brain needs to do, which is the things that have to do with storing memory and being able to remember things and to calm those emotions which get in the way of learning. So by doing what we do, which we call optically stimulated cognitive load reduction, we're able to allow somebody who is apprehensive to overcome those and learn better and faster.
Wow. Okay. So Casey, does that mean they're going to put on a tinfoil helmet when they get into class, right? And everybody's going to stare at them, or what are we talking about when we talk about the kind of hardware or software, whatever it is you have?
Yeah. So nothing like that. Well, if you want to go back to the original design, we can send you pictures of that. There was a helmet that had lights and everything going on, wires coming out the back. Dr. B had a lot of fun with that, but no, we have distilled it down to its simplest form. And it is literally a pair of glasses that you put on that have our technology built into them. And so what it does is allows that stimuli to go into essentially into the peripheral vision and allow it to work in the background while those students don't even know that it's going on.
Okay, so when we're talking about things in the peripheral, we're talking about lights, correct? We're not talking about anything else. We're not talking about, it's not speaking into your head, la, 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 or anything like that. It's lights that are going off and on. And those right there are telling your brain, they're sending a code. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it's a specific type of movement that's done using lights, and that those lights calm the brain and tell the brain that there are no immediate threats. And that's literally how it works. It's by having that continuous motion out there, that particular type of motion, it tells, and I like to use this example, it tells the brain these aren't the droids you're looking for.
So now we're talking about glasses. So if somebody already wears glasses, could they wear these over those glasses?
With the first version, yes, they can. What we're also building out for this next version, there's a timing thing. There's iterations for everything. We are actually putting in blue light blocking lenses. So what that will allow them to do is put in or go to the or I'm wanting to partner with a few other individuals to allow them to go get their prescription and get those put into the glasses themselves. So it will allow them to, if they are wearing glasses or contacts, they can use these glasses and it does not matter.
Wow. Okay. This is pretty fascinating stuff, right? It's really groundbreaking. When you come to, well, actually, I think you said you two will not be able to attend the showcase on the 21st of September, but other folks are going to come from your team. When they come, will they be bringing some of those optical devices so that participants can try them on?
Yes, sir, they will. So we currently have our new prototypes that are done there in the office today. We can actually send you quite a few images of those so that you can check them out.
Absolutely. Yeah, please send me a couple of those images. Okay, so you have these, the student puts them on. Now, you got to admit, it's pretty different thinking here, right? I mean, they're going to go, what the heck? What's the proof that this is going to work? Is it going to make my mind melt or whatever it is? Okay, we're not talking Star Trek mind melting Vulcans and so forth. What is the proof that this even works? Can you talk a little bit about that, some of the data? Research.
I'll take that one. This was originally done for my dissertation in cognitive psychophysics. I was looking at learning environments in the classroom, and I was concerned about things like ceiling fans and somebody sitting next to you chewing gum, and at the corner of your eye, you see that movement, or out the window and seeing leaves blowing in the trees. Right. And it was a happy accident that I discovered that we could calm these processes in the brain. 5 years of human experiments under an internal review board at the university. So we were able to do human experiments. And then another 2 years of operational experiments where Casey and I and some of the other team members looked at different operational scenarios for learning. And all of the data points to anywhere from, we've gotten 50 to even 70 or more % reduction in cognitive load doing these experiments.
So that's fascinating. So as we getting ready to wrap up, having read some of your research, you basically were able to show for those who wore the glasses or had the lights moving on the peripheral of a screen they were watching, that it actually kept their eyes or their focus longer on what they were reading. Is that correct?
Correct.
And they were able to retain more information than if they weren't, if these glasses or the lights were not going on. Is that a correct statement? That's
correct. And of course, there's a long technical explanation for what's going on. I won't do that, but you're literally able to relax and learn faster and deeper. So you retain the information longer.
Okay. So there's one other piece that I think is fascinating, and let's be real. This is a gaming society. Everything's gamified, right? Everybody loves games. Is it true that there is some, and I won't call it research, but there's some data that says that people who play games and wear these devices, actually their scores improve?
Yeah. So when Andy was talking about operational research, that was done at a few gaming conferences with actual gamers wearing a few iterations back of our prototypes. And we have data pointing through multiple tests that they do improve their scores, they improve their efficiency and overall performance. So it kind of ties back into the learning environment. They're learning a new gaming system, and we actually show that they improve better and faster while utilizing our technology.
Wow. So it doesn't just have Air Force implications or military implications, DoD implications. It's really got implications for anybody that's in the classroom or anybody that's trying to learn a new process or a new technique, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
That's true, but it even goes further than that, Eric. Being able to reduce cognitive load has been shown to help concussions. It's been shown to have effect on people with autism and ADHD. So there are a lot of medical things that we're really interested in looking at that go along with this. And finally, there's advertising. I mean, if advertisers have your attention for a very short period of time,
right?
If we can get the message across to you in half the time, that could be very significant. And we can do that. You literally, you get the gist of things much quicker.
Okay. Wow. Fascinating. Okay. Let me wrap this up. So in summary, basically you guys have, when I say you guys, really Dr. B, you have created a technology by using research that says, if you wear these devices, it could enhance your learning. It could reduce the cognitive load, cause you to become less stressed in the classroom or in the environment, and you could become a better student. Did I summarize that pretty good?
Pretty good.
Not bad for a guy from California public school system. Okay. Actually, I surprise myself sometimes. All right. So with that said, when you guys, or when your team comes down, they're going to be able to have an opportunity to talk about this with other instructors, with folks who write curriculum, so forth and so on. So this is going to be exciting. And I look forward to seeing this technology really displayed in front of all these folks so that they can ask the questions. And I hope that it really will drive the professional military education world toward your product, or toward this device, or toward this research, whatever it may be, to help you guys out. All right, Dr. B, do you have any final comments or anything that you want to say?
Well, first of all, we appreciate the opportunity to come and show our product. And, we really think that this is a disruptive technology. This is really going to change a lot of things in our world, or it could, if we can get people just to try it. Good.
Okay. And Casey, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, Dr. B summarizes it pretty well. So I just thank you guys for your time today.
Yeah, right. And kind of off the record, when you have that baby, it's a whole new learning experience, very stressful. I can only imagine that the 2 o'clock feeding, you put your glasses on, you turn them on, and you go out there and you're feeding the baby or whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun.
Don't worry, I've already been wearing them while reading all the baby books. So.
Oh, have you? That is so
Eric,
funny.
We're gonna make some baby-sized ones for
yeah.
Casey's baby.
That's too funny. Okay, guys, it's been great having you at Werx on the web today, and we really look forward to seeing this technology in action. We thank you so much for being with us today. Dr. B, thank you for your research, because this could be potentially groundbreaking for the military education world, for the pilot world, whatever it may be. Casey, thank you very much for your time here today too. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.